Ladies and gentlemen, the winners of the Stack 3D Supplement Brand of the Year of 2021 and now 2022, Robik and Karalina of Apollon Nutrition.
Hey guys.
Hi guys.
Congratulations. How are you guys feeling?
I feel like a winner. It feels good. It feels good. It feels good. It feels like we accomplished not something we wanted initially. Initially, not something that it was exactly our goal, but it's a great accomplishment. It's something that we're very very proud about, and you know, it's I mean it's stacked. I mean stacked is pretty much like I said in my post before, it's the most prestigious award, and just being nominated. I know it sounds a little corny when people say, "Oh, I'm just happy to be nominated," but it is. It's a huge accomplishment to be nominated among thousands and thousands of brands because you feel like you accomplished something. To be mentioned among a pretty cool group of people. You know, I mean, the nominees this year were, I mean, Raw, Chris Bumstead, and obviously Arms Race, Doug Miller, and Rise. I mean, all these companies are well-established companies, very prestigious, and just to be nominated among them and then to get the award, it's something very, very special. I feel like it's part of history, so to speak.
Okay, so was it delivered to the gym or did it delivered to one of your houses?
It was delivered to my house, Sean.
Was it?
So
Did you know what it was? Like when you saw the box, did you know what it was?
I mean, in the box itself, it had like a custom tape. So it said a trophy company name. So obviously, when I saw a box, I knew. But Rob had no idea. So,
did you call him, bring it to the gym, or how did Robik find out?
No, I decided actually to come to his house once I got it. I showed up with the box. Like it was just a box, and he was home at night, and he was like cooking or something, or like getting ready to eat, and I just walked in with the box. So it was kind of like Santa Claus.
So Robik, I'm sure you probably knew because you're probably like, "What the hell is she bringing me in a big box?" Or did you have any idea what she had in her hands?
No, you know what? I mean, I knew that Shane announced that the winner's going to get the trophy in the mail, and when he announced it, I mean, listen, when you in your heart believe that you deserve something, but of course, doesn't matter even if you believe it, you're still going to be a little biased because it's just inevitable. So, on one hand, you kind of believe that you deserve to win and you want to win. On the other hand, it's everybody has a different criteria, and although more or less I know what Shane wants to see, the winner, how he wants them to perform, it's still a little bit off. Lucas was in my ear, or should I say my text messages nonstop, and he was like, "You got this, you got this, you got this." I'm like, "Man, just go away," But at the same time, his confidence was like unparalleled, and so was Maria. Maria was like very, very, very confident that we're gonna get it. Karalina kind of avoided the subject, and I tried to avoid the subject, but nevertheless, it's kind of on your mind because you nominated. Yep. And with each and every day, I was like, maybe we didn't get it, and I was kind of mentally preparing myself. Number one, Shane is my friend, and I want to make sure that it under no circumstances it should affect our friendship, because Definitely. It's his decision and it's Nikki's decision. And even if the decision is to give it to somebody else, you have to respect it no matter what. So I kind of was mentally preparing myself for that case scenario. But with Lucas every day, you gotta get it, you gotta get it, you gotta get it. It was kind of it was an emotional roller coaster. And then when I saw the trophy, when walked with the box, I was like, fuck. I mean, I think I actually recorded my reaction to it, and it was definitely emotional. Yeah.
Speaking of, Lucas is here, kind of waving his hand in the chat here, saying he's here. So positive thoughts, Lucas.
Yeah, Lucas was. I mean, his support was tremendous, and obviously, I see Pete is here. Pete was very, very supportive. I mean, like I said, in my little speech, acceptance speech, when I said this was not just about me, like last year I was so aggressive about it, but this year I felt like there was such tremendous support from the customers and friends and family and everybody. Everybody, like, when we got nominated, everybody was very, very positive and supportive, and that means, a lot to me.
Yep. I'm going to be honest, and I love you guys both to death, my closest friends here. I was kind of wavering a little bit. I told Maria this because Shane was on a podcast, and Shane's a very good poker player because things that he was either saying or promoting, I didn't think you guys were going to get it, in all honesty. But obviously, he did a good swerve, and I like everybody else, I couldn't be happier for you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sean.
So what do you guys? Is you guys having a party today? I understand. You got to celebrate with a couple of close friends, and
we're gonna have like a little get together at the gym. Nothing fancy, nothing big, but obviously, this is something that definitely deserves celebration. I mean, it's a huge achievement. Back to back winning again the most prestigious award and being recognized again deserves like a little, but it's very, very private, very small celebration.
so is this going to be like the Stanley Cup that Kay has it for 1 week, and then maybe Jose gets another week, and does it kind of make its way around the team, or have you guys figured that out yet?
Well,
He's
no,
gonna travel.
sleeping with it.
Rap like Messi. When he actually got the World Cup, he was sleeping with it, so it's rap now.
It takes right in my car. I mean, this is like my partner right now.
But it's good. You have two of them now, so Karalina can have one for her shelf, and you can have one for yours.
It's actually that's how it should be. Yes.
Karalina should get a trophy surviving last year, Sean. just make it to 2022.
Yeah. So as our friend Pete says, why does Kay put up with Robik? Just kick him out and give him a hostile takeover. You take care of everything.
She does.
Even more impossible.
Seriously though, but okay. So obviously, congratulations. I mean, we can. So you did it for a minute. Come on, put it in the screen here just for a couple of seconds here.
There you go.
Do you have its twin brother there too next to you?
It's in the next room.
Okay.
And I gotta do something very special because Lucas is gonna fucking kill me. Lucas gets an award for the most annoying person in the world. It's kind of like one of those guys that you want to tell just fuck off, and at the same time, he's like family, so you gotta love him. So I'm gonna do this because he's never gonna leave me alone. So I have Ghost Energy drink here. They were not nominated, so might as well be part of this. Oops. So I'm gonna pour it in a cup.
I love it.
Lucas, this is just for you. I wouldn't do it for anyone else, but I can't fucking believe I'm doing this. So cheers and congratulations to the entire team Apollon. And I have a drink out of this bitch.
So now, Karalina, are you guys already planning for number 3? Is it too early to ask? Are you planning for number 3 now?
Sure, number 2 was not planned. We just go with the flow, and you know how the flow goes. So it's gonna be number 3, number 4, number 5, whatever that is. I mean, whatever we can do to improve. I mean, the company, ourselves, and everything. That's what we are doing. Actually, I never thought of like getting another brand of the year, but obviously, like when we talk, the criteria, and if you kind of look from outside, I think we definitely did deserve it. So let's see what 2023 gonna bring.
And like you said, it's one of Shane's criteria is really new categories, thinking outside the box. I mean, everybody flooded with pre-workouts, but a lot of your products, let's face it, were kind of new categories. I'll use the word you hate, maybe some game changers in there. And as our friend Matt Nickerson said on my show the other day, you're a creative genius, you're a madman, and you're the master of controlled chaos.
I'm adopting that nickname. By the way, Ghost should collaborate with Apollon Nutrition because I swear to God, that drink fucking tastes better from this cup. So maybe we'll get another cup, and maybe we can collaborate with Ghost. Then take notes.
It's the metals seeping in.
No, but seriously, to answer your question, And I said it many times. There was definitely a goal in 2021 to win the award. 2022, there was no such goal. There was just to improve. But you're saying, and I've been hearing it again a few times now about the third award. I think it's way too premature to even talk about it. All I know is that we're just going to continue doing what we were doing and what we did in 2022. We're just going to continue releasing. I don't know so much about game changers. Yes, I do hate that word, but I feel like, if any company came close to actually doing it, I'm going to say it straight. I've seen a few copycats where they're trying to duplicate what we've been doing. And I think that more than anything, it doesn't anger me. It's flattering. It's flattering, that people are trying to copy what we do, with something that we maybe introduced first to the market, or, a creative idea. And it's very impressive. It's very impressive because you know that you're on people's radars, that your competitors are paying attention and you're keeping them on their toes. But we will release a couple of very unique products this year, and we're definitely doing something, but we're doing it for our customers, and we're doing it, I guess, maybe even for and I'm not afraid to say it, maybe my personal ego, where I want to get better. And I kind of challenge myself when it comes to creativity. And, something that also Matt said, that I stepped down as a CEO running the company and gave it to Kay. I think that I agree. It was a genius idea because she's way better than me when it comes to organizing, running the company, keeping everything in perspective. She's better at controlling sales and marketing and creativity, and she's good when it comes to chain of command. She just has the perfect idea of what a true CEO needs to be like. Well, I'm pretty lousy at it because I get overwhelmed with emotions, and I also, because of my severe, I would say, case of ADHD, I kind of get lost, and it's very hard for me to multitask. But when I need to focus on formulations and releasing products and dealing with manufacturing, so it kind of, even today, you walk into Apollon, most of the time I'm not even there because I'm either at one manufacturer's facility or another one's, or at home, doing what I want to do. Or sometimes you can find me at Starbucks just working on something. I like to be left alone, and I actually love to have my space. And I think that was part of the key to success, that Kay is running pretty much the company and I'm doing what I do, and we don't interfere with each other's work because, there is trust, and we have our regular meetings, and obviously we discuss a lot of aspects when it comes to running the company, but at the same time, we know what each and every one is responsible for.
Kay, do you agree or disagree with everything he said?
I do agree. Obviously, when it comes to formulations, and when it comes to I would say vision, what the product should be, nobody is better than Rob. That's 100%, and I was saying that from day one because I think it's his talent. So yes, he was. I think he was born with it, obviously, but I think he is getting better, and he reads more and he researches, and that's what he enjoys and likes. So I do think that if you leave him alone and let him do whatever he enjoys doing, I think obviously nutrition and supplement world in general going to become much better place, because in that case, the supplement that he creates can actually help a lot of different people. So in that case, him doing what he is doing is better not only for Apollon Nutrition, but better for everybody. Because in that case, people can get a better product in their hands and actually use something that can be useful for them. In terms of me running a company, it's not easy, obviously, because I think the hardest work is to deal with people on a daily basis. And I do love people, so it's not hard for me. But I think you have to understand psychologically also that everybody is different and they all have their own problems. And sometimes it's not the easiest, obviously, thing, because we go through a lot on a daily basis, but we still have to make it going. And I told Rob at some point that to me, Apollon, it's a huge, let's say it's a huge machine, right? And every single little piece needs to be operating in order for machine to be going. Yeah. And I mean, me is trying to kind of make sure that everything is running smoothly. Even though sometimes if something is not running smoothly, at least I know and I can get in and do it myself.
So I remember the first time I actually came to the gym, it was the summer of 21 and walked into the pro shop. And you guys still had like metal shelving there. You had a couple of shirts on the wall. And now, fast forward now, a year and a half later, it's like it truly is like a little mini store walking in there. Not to insult the previous pro shop, but when you look at it now, you've got that awesome wall now, you've got the table and like the shelving, everything. It's like a total conversion.
It used to be an amateur shop. Now it's a pro shop. We stepped up a little bit. We entered the pro league. Yeah, so
So are you guys gonna have to build the way you guys keep putting out product? Are you guys gonna go ahead and like expand that? Because you're gonna run out of shelf space here soon enough.
Next thing, you walk into the gym, it's gonna be all the shop. So it's not gonna be longer a gym. It's just gonna be a Apollon nutrition shop.
Yes,
but we are running out of space.
Can you kick out the automotive place next door? Why not find out when their lease is done and turn that into a shop and have Luke and everybody else run that?
We kind of like the guy next door, so we'll keep him for now.
Somebody needs to change our oil.
So, Robik, the podcast. I know I'm not trying to betray your trust, but I know we talked off air. You were very nervous, okay, going into this. I think you did a hell of a job. Now, looking back, how do you feel? Did it play out as expected? Obviously, Elite Priest, volatile, awesome. But in looking back, how do you feel your first podcast went?
Well, you know what? I'll answer this. I mean, it's a serious question, so I'll answer it seriously. As a first guest to have somebody of the caliber of Elite Priest is obviously nerve-wracking. I mean, you can probably attest to this because you've been doing this for quite some time. Now, I've been either doing it with Lucas, Robert, and Shane as part of the Final Scoop, or I've been a guest on podcasts like yours, which is very... it depends, I guess, who is the host. I'm giving you credit because I think you're incredible at what you do. But it's very important when you have a host who's going to feed you a question and then you have a conversation, regardless, that there are people who are watching or listening or whatnot. So I think it's easier for me actually to be a guest because you ask me a question and I kind of got used to it. So I know it's a conversation. So it's easy for me to talk to you. But for me to ask a question and listen to an answer, especially Elite Priest, he can talk and he can talk for a long time. I think we could have had that interview for 3-4 hours, absolutely no problem. But it was, I was on a different side, and on a different side and doing something new, it's very, very hard. I mean, I asked Lucas, and I remember he actually replied to me, and he called it, I think he said it was very smooth. So yes. I like that, because I know, like, for example, Lucas, he listens to a lot of podcasts, so he's experienced and he knows what to look for. So for me to get that feedback and, to see that in 24 hours, it got like around 200 views. I know it's not a lot, but for the first...
Number one, it is good. It's very good, brother.
I felt like it was pretty positive. I was expecting, well, hopefully I'll get like 20 or 30. So it was very good in terms of how people perceived it and the reaction. But yes, it was very nerve-wracking. I mean, I'm gonna try and do a better job and be a little bit more comfortable in the seat of a host. But I think overall, I mean, I can't say that I'm happy with what I did. I'm not happy with my work, but I'm satisfied. And I guess, that's all I can ask for a beginning, for the first show. It's the same thing as Apollon Nutrition. I'm never happy. I'm always like, whenever I release a product, I'm like, fuck, I could have done this better. And I'm trying the next version to make better than the previous one. So I think that the motto is like, I use this reference often. What Sean Ray said, that the secret to his success was he never sees satisfaction in the mirror. I never see satisfaction with my work. And I think that that's what enables me to keep getting better, because I try to perfect my craft and to try and be better. I don't think there is such thing as perfection. I think that there is, if you have a hunger for success and if you love what you do, then you're going to keep getting better. But you should never like stop and say like, oh, okay, you know what, now I accomplished everything, I'm good.
Do you want to share any future guests, or is it kind of be on as a need to know basis?
No. I mean, I don't mind. Like, we pretty much confirmed that the next guest is going to be Corey Anderson,
Awesome.
Bellator fighter. He's going to be our guest next week. And then, I'm going to try and line up. I have a few people in mind, but nothing is confirmed, of course. I would like to get Karalina as a guest. I think that would be fun. Lucas would be an interesting guest, and probably fireworks. Shane, obviously, especially after winning the award, I think Shane is an absolute must. So I'm going to try to drag his ass. Talk to Branch Warren. I talked to Guy Cesarino. All of them are going to be future guests, of course. So I think the lineup is pretty solid.
And one thing for listeners, I do want to point out, so you actually have 2 YouTube channels. And if you want to see the Hooligan Chronicles, subscribe to the Robert Samborsky one, not the Robik. So don't get
Yeah,
confused when he's listening to this. Check it
yeah.
out. I mean, the first
I think that Robert Chinesky, who's helping with this, he created that one. But I think it's good because it's kind of a distinction.
definitely. So what's with the relationship? Maybe you can explain a little bit more with Lee. He's helping with the gym, but what does that mean exactly? I don't know if you kind of delved into it enough in the podcast.
So it all started after the All Star Seminar, where we started talking to Lee, and he agreed to do the 2023 All Star Seminar. I mean, he was the first guest to pretty much be confirmed that he's coming, and we exchanged a couple of messages, and obviously he is Species Nutrition sponsored athlete. And you have to be respectful, and one of the things that I always demand is respect for me, but I pay that respect back. So obviously there was no talk about him joining Apollon Nutrition, which people misunderstood.
Yeah.
But considering he's coming to Apollon Gym and he liked the content and he's always commenting, and we've been talking about the fact that getting closer to the Apollon All Star Seminar, maybe he can be sort of our ambassador also for Apollon Gym, helping people with giving them tips about training, about nutrition, stuff like that. So, especially right now, Karalina is working on a new Apollon Gym website, which is going to be
Nice.
ready soon. So we kind of redoing everything with Apollon Gym. We added more equipment, and we're trying to make sure that our members understand that we are not all about Apollon Nutrition, which is now a global company, because you can get Apollon Nutrition pretty much anywhere. But Apollon Gym is more of a local gym, and we don't want anyone to feel like we're neglecting that part of our
Sure.
lives, because there wouldn't be Apollon Nutrition if there wouldn't be Apollon Gym. So we're trying to make the gym better and everything about the gym better, and promote it better, and to make sure that people understand what it means to us, because Apollon Gym is our home, and
Yeah.
that's pretty much we trying to like Luke, for example, he promotes very well, and now with me coming on board, we're just trying to get the word out about the gym a little bit more.
Okay, question for you. I'm not trying to neglect you. You've been with the gym since day one with the nutrition band, if I remember correctly, right?
With nutrition since day one, yes.
So are you surprised with the growth that you guys have had over the last 7 years? Or I mean, it seems like it's gone so fast. 7 years is a big time frame, but it's gone so fast. But are you surprised, happy? I mean, when you look back now from where you started with just a couple of protein tubs to where you are now, what are your thoughts?
I mean, honestly, when we started, Sean, I always think big, right? So, like, when we start something, like, I see it as because I believe in it so much, I see it as something big. So there is no point for me to doing something just like to have another something little so people don't even know about. But when
Yeah.
we talked with Rob initially, he said that he wants like to have his own protein powder for the gym, because we used to sell like different brands. And he started off with protein and hooligan. But I always was telling him at one point, like even back then, I'm like, I want us to be in different countries. And he goes to me, no, you're crazy. Like, it's never going to happen. We're a small company, this and that. But I always saw it like that. Even
Yep.
before it was a potential to go overseas and like be a nationwide brand, like I always saw it that way. I did not see it any different from day one.
Okay. So I guess you happy then, Robert? That it sounds like she put the bug in your ear, kind of pushed you harder.
I need to be pushed. I mean, that's just, it's not because I'm lazy. I just need to, um,
You need to get busy.
yeah, I need to have, I need to have positive people around me. I'm not even gonna like, maybe it's a little bit embarrassing to admit, but growing up, I was not in a very positive environment. I would say, mostly in a negative environment, and that made me. Wow, we're getting deep here. It made me doubt myself many times, and maybe that's my weakness, so to speak, where I
Yeah.
need to be encouraged and pushed a little bit. When I'm pushed, when I'm encouraged, and when I'm, I would say, motivated, then I'm pretty much unstoppable. I turn into a fucking machine that has no limits. But when I'm dragged down and when I'm around negativity and around negative people or people that are constantly complaining, bitching, don't believe in themselves, weak people, unfortunately, it rubs off and it influences me in a negative way. So, somebody like Kay, I remember it's actually a very interesting story. Um, just before my first fight in kickboxing, I tore my quad in my left leg, and the prognosis was not very good because I started kickboxing Muay Thai at the age of 36, which is the age of when most people retire.
Yep.
And I was pretty much told that it's over, it's not going to happen. And I remember, being a little bit stubborn, I went back to training, except one thing: I would not kick with the left leg. I refused to kick with the left leg. I was completely petrified, scared. I mean, emotionally, psychologically, I was so fucked up that
Yeah.
I was like, and I kind of healed up, but I was still scared. And I remember it was a training session, and Kay was actually present during that training session. And my coach during that time goes to me, okay, kick with the left. And I'm like, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he goes to me, come on, kick with the left. I'm like, no. And then Kay was ringside and she started screaming, kick with the left, kick with the left. I got so pissed, but at the same time encouraged. I started kicking with the left leg. I actually have a photo somewhere. I started kicking with the left leg, not even thinking about it. Fast forward maybe a few sessions, even though it's still deformed a little bit, my left leg, you can see there was a surgery there. There is a scar, and it's slightly smaller than my right one, just above the knee.
Okay.
I'm kicking with my left a lot harder than I kick with my right.
Awesome.
But that push, that positivity is extremely important. So I always will tell everybody: surround yourself with positive people, strong people that can make you elevate your game to the new heights.
Yeah. So my motto this year is success breeds success.
I guess, yeah.
Katie, I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you want to talk a little bit about the Casanova? I think we all know what it is, or maybe that's something we want to defer to Robik on. Look at your
Of
face.
all
That's
people.
that's gonna be a meme right there. That's gonna be a meme.
I think I would be the best to talk about that coming up product, right? So looking on
Well,
the teaser, it actually makes you think of me. I think that's already a great achievement over there.
it should work both ways though, because if the man is happy, hopefully the woman's happy, or vice versa. But we'll keep that off air.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's a fun project for sure. It's something that not to. I mean, people pretty much kind of sort of figured out what it is, but there is a little bit more to it actually, and I think it's going to be revealed pretty soon. I think within a week or two. But the whole concept with a condom, I have to give credit where credit's due, and that's Chris Waldron. He had an
Brilliant.
idea, including with a product, including a condom, and actually not just the condom, but he also wanted to include a lubricant. Which I said, you know what? I think that let's hold on. Maybe version 2 will do that. But I mean, for now, let's just stick to the condom. It's actually a pretty cool idea, and I think some people got the joke and they got the concept and they got the idea and they got the fun part of it. Some people completely misunderstood it. I mean, I even had messages where people think that Apollon is going into condom business, which I was like, and that's not the case, you know. But no, it got attention more than Hooligan, than Assassin, than any of our top products. I mean, I was just shocked. You posting a condom and everybody's going. I mean, some of the comments were extremely childish and stupid, but nevertheless, it was fun. But I think, you know what, when the product actually comes out, which is in about 3 weeks or so, I think a lot of people are going to be pleasantly surprised. I mean, you can expect, of course, because it's Apollon, it's going to be fully dosed product. It's going to be a good product for sure. I mean, it will get maybe. I don't even think it's going to get like laughs and stuff like that. It's just the condom. I think the concept of the condom that got everybody kind of like childish and giggly about it. But the product itself, when people see what it is, they're going to be like, okay, I see what they did here. And I think that the product's going to do very well. And the label, of course, created by Chris Waldron is absolutely amazing. And the product itself, I think it's going to be a hit.
Some people, I think, have an idea what it is. Some of the smarter folks, and maybe I'll throw myself in there. Would you classify it as a pre or an intra?
I would classify it as a finishing product.
Do you want to add anything, Kay? I know Kay's getting a little red here. Do you want to add anything, Kay?
You know what? I mean, I used to go to a nightclub in South Africa that was called a Global Explosion. So I think this would be a very, very cool name for the product too, Global Explosion.
And when are you hoping to drop that? Go ahead, Kay. I'm sorry.
Valentine's Day.
Of course, makes sense.
And Global Explosion, I love it, Rob, because we already have some requests from overseas for that product, even though they had no idea what the product is.
You know what? When you get a message, I'll buy anything that is Apollon. I think that's a cool thing.
Okay? We'll just end on this though. Are you setting it up for beta testing too? How do you beta test that? If it is what I think it is, how are you getting feedback?
There was some beta testing for sure, but the thing is that I'll say this. This product was, you know how Viagra was created? I mean, Viagra was supposed to be a heart medication, right?
Cholesterol drug, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a heart medication, and it kind of one of the side effects of it. That's how we got to Viagra being what it is today. This product was supposed to be one product intended for one thing, but somehow. Robert Shinesky was actually the one who noticed. He goes to me, whoa, this actually is not just for this particular reason, but it actually can serve as a double benefit, so to speak. So it's actually intended for not just one purpose, but actually two. And when it comes out and you see the list of ingredients and everything else, it's going to make complete sense. I promise you that.
There's never a dull moment with lack of conversation or topic with you or both you guys.
It's like double impact by Casanova. That's what it's gonna be.
There you go, double impact by Casanova. That's pretty cool.
So do you guys already have on the calendar like how many products you're thinking about this year, or how far does the calendar go right now? 6 months, 3 months? I mean, what are you guys looking at for product launches?
Sean, our calendar looks different, I think, from everybody else's calendars in this world. If you have 365, ours is probably 700 days. So every day is basically something and something and something. It never stops.
Yeah, I mean, we try to predict how many products we're going to release, but it's very, very difficult because sometimes you have delays and sometimes you have unforeseen circumstances. And so it's very hard to predict exactly because on average it takes about to make a product, depends on the manufacturer, anyway from 6 weeks up to 16 weeks. So it's very tough. I mean, we're trying to kind of stick to the plan right now, and I would say we outlined, I think, until June or July so far. But some of the products I already know that are going to come out probably like October, November, or December. But at the same time, I know that there are 2 releases in January. I know there's going to be at least 2 releases in February and March, and there is a couple of flavors and stuff like that. So I would say that we are staying consistent with what we've done in 2022. Not intentional, not chasing the award, despite what some people might think. But we just, I think, everybody has his own purpose, his own role. We're just sticking to what Apollon does and trying to be the best Apollon that we can be, not trying to be Accent Sledge or Core or Performix or any of those brands. I mean, I have respect for all of them, but I think that we need to stay in our own lane. And there are certain expectations from the customers, from our partners, from our collaborators, from the stores, where they expect certain things from us, and rightfully so, because we kind of put ourselves on the map as the company that does certain things a certain way. And I think that deviating from that plan would be very, very stupid. We're not trying to copy anyone. We're not trying to be like anyone else. So that's the reason somebody recently said to me, "Oh, you know what? I talked to this to somebody, and they said that they like certain things from other companies, and Apollon should do that." And I said, if you like certain things from other companies, then you should support those companies.
Definitely.
And by all means, I have absolutely no problem with that. I mean, Apollon is not for everybody, just like other companies are not for everybody. We're trying to cater to our customers. We have already a base. We have certain demand and certain expectations. If you don't like what we are doing, you don't have to support us. Go elsewhere. I mean, the market is pretty big. Somebody made a comment saying, well, Triumph is $80, but I can get Radcon for half the price. And then they run in specials that will get one, buy one, get one free, or some shit like that. Like, okay, so why don't you get it? And they even said, oh, and they perfectly dosed, and it's a great company. Fantastic. Support Radcon One. I mean, why not? I have absolutely no problem with that. You don't have to spend money on Hooligan or Triumph or a 50/50 Formula X. You don't have to buy our products, but with all due respect, that's okay.
Yeah. I think people say that because they're expecting, oh, maybe I am overpriced. Let me drop it down to $39.99. And it's like, no, are you kidding me? Are you guys going to focus more on the, I'm going to say, the supplement side versus the health line, or are you going to put a little more effort into the health line this year? You know what I mean by health line, the kidney kindnesses and the collagens and things like that.
You know what I mean? A perfect example would be what we released in January. In January, we released protein, right? We released
blackberry
cheesecake. Yeah, we released blackberry cheesecake for our anniversary, which was, I think, last week. And then that's a Apollon Nutrition product. It's our 50/50 Formula X. And then next week, we're releasing something more, not more, from the health line. Was it intentional? No. In fact, the product that is to be announced on Monday, that we are releasing next Friday, we actually had it in our hands in December. We've been holding it for so long because there were so many releases, we didn't even know where to put it. So it didn't work out. We're like, oh, okay, we're releasing protein now. Next, let's release Healthline. It doesn't work that way. I mean, not with us. We don't have. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Like, you know what? If there is a company that can be a little bit more organized than we are, where they're like, okay, we're going to release 5 products of this line and 5 products of this, then great. Unfortunately, we don't think that way, but it works for us. So the health line, yes, there's going to be a couple of products. Like I can already say that multivitamin is coming, I believe, in March. Nice. That's obviously a health line. So the multivitamin, which has been in the works for over a year, finally is going to land in March. This particular product that I talked about is going to be released at the end of next week, but the plan was actually to release it in 2022. So there's going to be releases on both ends, but I don't know exactly the balance.
Does your lovely wife have any insight on the product coming out this week? Did she help you with this one too, or?
Yes,
Good.
yes. It's particularly with one of the ingredients. Yes.
And Kay, are any products getting phased out?
Which ones?
Or
I'm
you
sorry,
guys
sir?
are any products being discontinued, phased out? Is there anything, or are you guys going to still keep the full catalog?
I mean, we don't plan to be, obviously. I think everything that we have as of right now sells. So in
Okay.
order, obviously, like when maybe like some flavor extensions, maybe like something in that case. But in terms of like product to discontinue any of our products that we have, I don't believe so.
Okay. What
That
else
was
is coming up
a
for you
pretty cool
guys?
question. If does anyone think that Sean looks like Michael Rappaport, you actually do look like him.
If I had $1 for every time somebody did that, I'd have like $1,000. I don't know why.
So you heard that before. I actually agree with that.
I've got Michael Rappaport and Will Ferrell. That's the other one.
Yeah, well,
Will Ferrell too.
in this day and age, they could be a couple, and you could be adopted.
I would love to. I'd love to have Michael Rappaport. He's a little bit off the radar. He's a little bit off the reservation, but I love that guy.
Yeah, I'm a fan too. No, but it's a good observation because, yeah, true. I mean, you do look like him.
So, anything else to report, guys? I know it's kind of been a quiet morning, but again, I'm excited that you guys won this, and so much good things to talk about this year.
Um, in terms of reporting, I mean, like I said, we plan on 2023 just to be as strong and as positive as 2022. Are we chasing more releases, less releases? I honestly don't count. I don't. I mean, towards the end of the year, maybe we'll do like a count and come to a certain like, oh shit, we released that many. But there's absolutely no plan. We just go as we go, and I think that every company should at least have a strategy. Our strategy is nothing in particular where we like, oh, you know what, we need to reach this goal and that goal. No, just keep getting better, and that's it. I mean, I can tell that new Assassin is going to come out. That was a plan from the beginning, and I didn't, hide that. So Assassin version 8 definitely will come out this year. Um, Possibly Hooligan 7, which the formula has been ready for quite some time. Actually, it was ready before we released version 6.
Wow. Okay.
And there's going to be quite a few products featuring Self-Flow 6. I'm a huge, huge fan of Matt Nickerson and what he does and this particular ingredient. So we're going to probably have more products with Self-Flow 6 than any other company. Again, not intentional, not in terms of competition, but just in general. Kay is going to remain a CEO and hopefully doesn't fire my ass. And that's about it.
Do you guys have any plans? And I know we've discussed this, but do you guys have any plans to ever want to get into like the big box, the Walmarts and BJ's and stuff? Or I know that's not really your lane, but that's the big thing nowadays. That companies think success is getting into Walmart. I don't think so. But what are your take?
I'll answer after Kay answers.
My take, when it comes to Apollon Nutrition, I do not see it on the shelves of that particular store that you said. Because going into that store, I will never see something, I think, when it comes to like premium and luxury product. And that's my answer. So if there is a possibility of obviously some sub company or whatever that is particular for that market, maybe. But in terms of Apollon Nutrition, unfortunately, I don't believe so. And that's not the goal that actually I have. And I believe Apollon.
I'm going to add to it. So, and please don't take this the wrong way because the conversation is not going to where people might think it's going. If you take, for example, Fitness Informant, right? Ryan, his answer to Lucas of all people, I think last year or something like that, was that Apollon Nutrition is an social media company. Where he said that it's basically we're not that big and not that important, and only a small number of people know about us. Well, two of these say otherwise, but Ryan didn't nominate us this year for Brand of the Year, and a lot of people questioned it. a lot of people. Clearly, we were not nominated with Price Plow or Ryan or anyone else. And the number one excuse was, at least Ryan's, was that companies like Ghost and Rise and whatnot, they got into Vitamin Shop in Walmart or whatever. So he basically says, how much money they're making and stuff like that. Number one, if you go by how much money a company is making, meaning how successful it is financially, then companies like MuscleTech, Cellucor, MyProtein, they should be winning every year and nobody should be coming to it. So that argument is stupid. Number two, I'm pretty sure no company is reporting their financials to Ryan as well. So that's another stupid argument. I would say it's mostly like an excuse. Number three, we can and could have gotten into one of those or two of those big retailers. Our marketing team, which we actually do have, despite people thinking that it's just me and Kay working somewhere in the basement, and our sales and us collectively, we made a decision not to do it. We made the decision to stay straight to the consumer and sell to retail stores and not go and be dependent and going to GNC and Vitamin Shop and bodybuilding.com. All those possibilities, or at least some of them, were very, very open to us. But the fact remains that Apollon did grow substantially.
Yep.
Yes, we not gonna report our financials to Ryan because we don't feel obligated doing so. But that excuse doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's just a stupid excuse and actually very, very childish. But we are recognized. We are growing. Every year is better than the year before. We're getting more customers. We're getting more supporters. We're getting more followers, and that's a great thing. And I, just like Apollon Gym is not trying to be Planet Fitness. We're not trying to be LA Fitness, and we're doing just fine. We're still getting better and better and better. To get into Vitamin Shop or stuff like that, personally, I was okay with possibly talking to them about getting on a limited basis where we have some of the products, perhaps, but pretty much Karalina said no. Our marketing team said no, and I had absolutely no problem with it. Will we get in there? Maybe. But that was not a plan. The plan was just like in 2022 is to be bigger and better, but not necessarily nationwide. In every GNC and Vitamin Shop. Well, some of our products they would not even take, which means that we would have to compromise and be hoarse and sell out and and betray some of our customers. But that's not what Apollon is all about. If Apollon's going to be like Radcon and Apollon's going to be like Cellucor and MuscleTech, that's not Apollon anymore. That's it. That's a mainstream company that we never aspired to be. And I think even these people, whoever are following us, they would fucking tell us to go fuck ourselves. And I do talk to Shane, I do talk to Lucas, I talk to a few people whose opinions I actually value, who've been in the industry longer than me, and I turn to them for advice sometimes, and I don't regret it whatsoever because they know the market pretty well, and I think that their advice, served us right. I mean, so we're just going to stick to what we do, and that's it.
Any geographies that you guys are not in that you're hoping to break into this year?
You mean internationally?
Yeah, internationally, yeah.
Well, we just got into India. There is a presence in Singapore, in Holland. We're working on a couple of other things. Our friends also kind of helped us out a little bit in terms of other areas to know us. UK, we have pretty good presence. So I think we're going to continue in the same path, like growing, but more organically than forcibly, where we're going to send people like, okay, try to sell Apollon Nutrition. We like the fact that people are coming to us now and they find out about the brand and they they want to support the brand and they want to carry it because it's unique. But to be money-hungry horse who are willing to do anything for a buck and to get into any place, I don't think it's necessary. I mean, we started as a small brand 8 years ago with 3 products selling out of the gym. I think slow and steady wins the race, and we've been winning the race against ourselves, and that's what matters.
Okay, do you know how many SKUs you guys have under the catalog? I mean, are we talking over 200, you think, or no?
I would
When you
think,
look at, I
I
consider
would think,
SKU like a 50-50, 5 different flavors, and
right,
Hooligan, 6
and
different flavors.
there are also like limited flavors. So I would not think actually 200, but I would think like more than 100, honestly. And to add what
Wow.
to Rap was talking also, like I think when it comes to international partners, I would say we also like in Switzerland, right? And after Rap and Marina, they went and visited like Switzerland and Holland. It's also a different type of relationship with those particular partners, right? And those that actually work with. It's not just our retailer and they just buy and sell and whatever. No, we want people who get behind Apollon Nutrition, who know exactly why they want to carry Apollon Nutrition. And
Yep.
those people actually, I text on them like on a daily basis. They become like my distant family. We were talking, and now Martin is texting me. He's actually from Switzerland. And then we have guys like Sylvester from Holland, and then obviously UK. And there is in India also presence. So those people that we have relationship with, it's just not the people who sell Apollon Nutrition. They sell Apollon Nutrition because they want to sell, and they know exactly why they want to sell Apollon Nutrition.
Yep. It's like you said, you guys,
if you
know
look,
your lane.
I'm sorry about what Simon said. Apollon in Walmart would be riding on a pig's back. I mean, he's sort of right. I mean, and that's somebody who's been a friend, somebody who supports us. Those are the kind of people, those are the relationships that we build. And Lucas has been working for Prometheus for a very, very long time, and that's a premium company out of Holland that is supplying entire Europe. And again, I'm just reading what he said. Apollon is not that kind of a brand. They're a premium brand, and they should be made for specific crowd that knows their shit. And he's right. He's 100% right. I mean, I think that's a perfect answer. So somebody who's been in the industry, I mean, and Lucas sells Universal Nutrition. He sells Cellucor. He sells all the brands that are very well known internationally. So he knows his shit. And so sometimes, yes, I will pick his brain just for that particular reason because he knows the market. So for us to go and compete with Cellucor, we're going to have to be like Cellucor. And if we are like Cellucor is going to destroy us.
Yep. And what a lot of people don't know, though, is they think sometimes it's success when you get into brick and mortar, like the Walmarts and the BJs and the Costcos. But what a lot of people don't realize is that they might do what they call a purchase order from you. They'll put you in 50 stores for 5,000 units. But a lot of times, if they don't sell in a year, you, the company, now have to buy it back and take it back.
Correct.
So it's like, it's a gamble sometimes. People don't realize that. You think you sold it, oh, you're in Walmart, and if it doesn't sell, they'll clearance it. No, a lot of times it goes back to the company itself.
You know what? I'm going to say, I'm not going to name the name of the company, but it's a rather successful company. It's a company that I actually respect greatly. And they got into one of those vitamin shop GNCs and whatnot a couple of years ago. And they were celebrating and they were so happy about it. Great brand.
Yeah.
I respect greatly. And they've been doing it very, very successfully. And I know the owner personally. So I walked into one of those stores once. I needed to get something. And I saw one of his products selling for dirt cheap. And I mean like dirt cheap. And I called him and I said, like, listen, I mean, really? I mean, this is the price? He got absolutely pissed. And then we had a conversation a couple of months later, and he said one of the biggest mistakes he's made is getting into that big space. Again, I'm not going to say who it is, and it doesn't really matter. It's irrelevant. And I'm not going to say that everybody who's getting into GNC and Vitamin Shop and Walmart is making a mistake. God knows. Absolutely not. But there are brands that it's for them, and it can benefit them tremendously. And there are brands like Apollon that maybe could get into it and maybe should on a limited basis and maybe should see it as a possibility, but is it necessary? I don't think so.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. Guys, is there anything else that we need to discuss? Because again, as always, it's great catching up with you guys, and obviously going up once and twice a month. It's great being in person, but I love doing these with you guys as well.
If you have any questions or somebody from the audience have any questions, please be my guest.
Anyone as we wind down? Everyone's just more, I guess, intrigued and excited for you. Things like Boss Lady K is a great leader. K is a strong woman.
Like Eric just said, Walmart is not great for every brand. And Eric's been working with Universal Nutrition. He's been with NutraBio and GAT, and he's helping us. I mean, this is somebody who has tremendous experience in the supplement industry. And when he says Walmart is not great for every brand, clearly he knows what he's talking about. And, I'm a newbie, but I do agree.
Yeah. Kay, anything else from you that we haven't discussed? I know you're always just nice and quiet, just taking everything in.
No, I think you won't ever see Maserati, right, on shelves of Walmart. And that's exactly, I think, the idea of Apollon not being on shelves of those stores. So that's kind of like how I look at it. If you want Maserati, you go to Maserati dealership. If you want to have some sort of dealership or like presence in your country, you have to follow certain rules and regulations given to you by Maserati. And if you don't, you no longer can do that. So I think like we got lucky actually that we work with those kind of partners that share the idea and the views and values that Apollon has already.
Yeah, like people say to me, because obviously now that I'm working exclusively with you folks, most people know that now. They say, "Oh, it's expensive." No, it's like you said, it's a Maserati. It's a premium product. You get what you pay for, and that's the best way to put it.
Sean, sometimes I think people are just like being lazy and they go by whatever other people say, right? So if you actually do the math or if you do some sort of research, like minimum research, you will understand that Apollon is not expensive. It's rightfully so priced. And even sometimes I would say underpriced. Because if you take one of the products that we have, be it like resistance or like collagen or even protein, and if you look at the quality and dosages and ingredients that we put in there, and if you buy those products separately, if you get them from other companies or whatever else you'll do, you'll see you'll pay double, sometimes triple, and sometimes even more than that. So to say that Apollon is expensive, yes, obviously we cannot list on a label, it's not just collagen. We cannot list all the ingredients on the label and name it that. But when people assume it's just collagen, it's not just collagen. And that collagen that we use is not just another collagen, or the dosage is not underdosed, right? So I don't believe that Apollon is like expensive. It's not expensive to what Apollon represents. 100% no. I disagree with that statement. And I think actually lately, thankful to, I would say like people like even like Luke that we have on the team, right? He is younger, so he represents younger generation. And we do have a lot of like younger people joining Apollon. Now it's actually a cool place to train at. Like Rob was talking about Planet Fitness or like LA Fitness. I mean, they're doing great, right? But when we actually see those younger people coming to Apollon, and I talk to them like all the time, I'm like, they're like, oh, I love this gym. It's so cool. It's a real gym. So now it's trendy. People want to be in it. And coming to Apollon gym, they actually learn about Apollon nutrition as well. So they understand the difference when they try that protein, when they try that pre-workout, when they see somebody like Luke using that. And then once they use it also, they see the benefits of it. So I think we should actually take credit of kind of like educating like younger generation. But actually, I think it's for good. And even if they will collect a little bit of money and buy something that's going to help them to achieve their goals, even if they compete or not compete, it doesn't even matter. Or if it's if you don't even work, right? If you're like a woman and you just like sit home and do nothing and you want to actually drink good quality protein, you will benefit from it.
Yep, exactly. Robik, somebody asking, are you guys coming to Greenland? Any idea of going to Greenland? For the product, I guess product that is.
It's a good product. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, maybe you can finally fucking represent us in Greenland and start carrying Apollon products there. We'll ship it directly to you. No, but yeah, I mean, we're trying to be everywhere we can be. It's just not easy. Again, we're a smaller still operation in terms of like how many staff members we have and everything else. But yeah, I mean, we are expanding. Again, we have a lot of support and a lot of help from the international community where people are they want Apollon products. Like today, I have a message from Israel, and people definitely know about us and want us. We will keep on growing, and we will keep getting to more parts of the world for sure. That's inevitable. And Lucas, yeah, Ghost does taste good from this cup. I mean, this is a collaboration, so you can say this is the first collaboration of 2023.
Is that the Strabanero?
Yeah, it's the what is it? Strobango, yeah, margarita. It's pretty good, but I think the cup makes it better.
And Lucas with the funny comment, now that I'm working with Apollon, he'll be using Casanova on a daily basis. Lucas, I'm going to be kind, and I'm just going to email you directly something negative here later, okay?
Lucas, he's going to be on a fucking poster for the product now. Look, even at the age of 90, you can still benefit from Casanova.
I know, and it's almost at my nap time here too, so.
No, thank you. I really appreciate it. But honestly, I mean, I want to say, before we wrap up or, if there's any question, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's been such great support to us. Because honestly, you can come up with great products, but if you don't have the support, if you don't have the following, if you don't have people who admire what you do, then it means absolutely nothing. And I think we had unbelievable support. They even fight my battles on social media for me. So I mean, I greatly appreciate it. I mean, we I know it sounds very maybe fake or cliche, but honestly, this is
Validates it all.
Yeah, this is nothing without them.
Yeah. So, but anyway, guys, as always, it's so good catching up with you guys. So just for some quick house cleaning here, as you mentioned earlier, the Hooligan Chronicles is on the Robert Samborsky YouTube channel. Want to give a good shout out to both our close and personal friend, Eric Schwartz. He has his own podcast, Gym Guys Podcast, 3 guys, and sometimes have great guests, and other times it's just talking the industry, the trends, and everything else. For myself, if you haven't seen, I have a new podcast with Vinny Galanti called Masters Muscle on every Wednesday night, where we're bringing on guests. We've had Rusty Jeffers, we've had Jose Raymond, and this Wednesday we also have Bill Grant, who is Arnold Schwarzenegger's training partner. And also keep an eye on the Apollon YouTube channel, as I'll be working with Kay and some other people on bringing you some updated content. But as always, guys, thank you so much to you guys. Congratulations once again. And to all the listeners and the fans, thank you for making me where I am today.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, guys.